Mr. Mayor, Emily Cantu, our Interim Housing Services Director, along with Dee Gilliland, are here tonight to give you an update on the annual report and annual plan update for our housing authority. So, Ms. Cantu.
Welcome, Emily.
Thank you. Good evening. We are here tonight. This is an annual process that the Department of Housing and Urban Development requires from the Housing Authority. It is to hold a public hearing and approve an annual plan. The Housing Authority administers the Housing Choice Voucher Program, which provides rent subsidies to low-income households in Vacaville. Most of our participants are elderly, disabled, or working families. And the program puts about $9.8 million into the local economy each year. In addition to the rent subsidy program, the Housing Authority also has a family self-sufficiency program and a home ownership program available. There's also a waiting list of about 2,600 applicants who are waiting for a position to open up and be available for them to receive the rental subsidy. To receive funding, again, we do have to do this annual process. We also have a 5-year plan that is completed. That will be due next year, so we'll be back with that next year. But this year we're looking at our annual plan. We are a high-performing housing authority based on performance indicators and standards that HUD has. So we're able to submit a streamlined plan. It is a HUD-mandated template, so it looks kind of funny, and there's a lot of not applicables listed in there because we don't do public housing, for example, and it includes questions about public housing. But what it does include that is applicable to our department are any changes that have been made to the program over the last year. And if you recall, we came back to you as the Housing Authority Board a few times last year because our housing assistance money and our administrative money were decreased quite a bit last year. So we made some changes to streamline processes and make changes to lower costs. It also talks about our home ownership program, which gives current rental subsidy participants an opportunity to receive a mortgage assistance subsidy instead for a limited period. It has some HUD-required forms, and then we do have a resident advisory board who we contacted and discussed the plan with to see if they had any comments, and they did not. There was a 45-day public review period. And tonight, again, we're asking that you hold a public hearing and then consider approving the plan, and we will submit it to HUD as required. And as was mentioned with the previous item, there's no impact to the general fund with the Housing Choice Voucher programs. It's funded with federal monies. And that concludes my presentation. Be happy to answer any questions.
Just one question real quick, Emily. As I'm looking through the documents, and I'm looking at the supporting documents exhibit or attachment 1, under the VHA, it currently he says you currently have 7 successful participants who are receiving monthly homeownership assistance, and 6 participants are working toward homeownership. Understand the 7. I get it. We're helping them. What are the 6 doing, and what can we do to further help them? And then are these 20 new loans that we just heard about part of this, or should we be declaring them in here in some form or fashion if we're going to be making this part of our plan?
Sure.
Moving forward.
Good questions. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
The 6 participants who are working towards home ownership are working with our home ownership coordinator. So it's a staff person who helps them identify the goals for them personally that they need to achieve to work towards home ownership. So it could be saving for a down payment. It could be attending home ownership workshops, which are required, working towards improving their credit standings, etc. So there's 6 participants working directly with a coordinator to do so. The 20 down payment loans could be accessed by the 6 clients when they're ready to actually purchase the home. It is a separate program It's not a HUD program through the Housing Choice Voucher Program. It's separate, but they can access it and use it. So, yeah.
Thank you.
Curtis.
Yeah, I know that the Public Housing Authority, one of the big problems is the affordability of homes. What's happening with the increase in cost, and how does that affect the Public Housing Authority? As homes become more expensive, how does that affect it?
Well, so far, each person who has the rental subsidy voucher has been able to access the housing. Typically, it would be apartments, which are a little more affordable. So we do have affordable housing units that have affordability covenants in Vacaville. So that gives them an opportunity as well to achieve those lower rents to make it affordable.
Okay, seeing and hearing no more questions from the council, I'll open up the public hearing. Please come forward, give us your name, and tell us what you would like us to hear. Seeing and hearing none, I shall close the public hearing.
I move to approve the Vacaville Housing Authority Public Housing Agency Annual Plan.
Motion and second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? None. It's unanimous. Thank you very much. B is a resolution to modify the existing